Welcome back to another video, and in this video I'm going to be showing you a walkthrough on the PlayStation Portable. So the first thing you have to know is that the power button is located on the right side of the machine, right where it says power. All you have to do is flick it up and the system will boot up. And while this boots up, let's go ahead and go over some of the buttons on the outside. We have our home, our volume up and down. We have our screen brightness, and I believe that is the mute and select and start. On this side, you have your analog and your D-pad. On the top, you have your left and right triggers. And on the right side, you have your triangle, circle, X, and square buttons. All right. And at the bottom, you'll locate the power. So you charge the system via this plug right here. All right. And on this side, the memory card is located on this side. If you are not familiar with the system, I will suggest not to touch that slot right there. The battery compartment is on this side, which you just have to push down on this. But again, if you're not familiar with the system, it's best to just leave it alone. And on the very top is where the UMD is inserted. If you have a UMD, you could insert it. Make sure to insert it correctly. There is an arrow on the UMD letting you know which way it goes. All right, now that you're in your home screen, the way you navigate it is just like the PlayStation or the PlayStation 4, where it is a left to right system. So on the very far left, you're gonna have most of your settings for the system. You have your power saving options, your theme settings, photo settings. I will say to not go in here if you're not familiar with the system. The next one is the digital comics. This plugin is actually not working currently, as it will give you a prompt saying that there is no software available. So I would suggest not to click on it as well. Next one is photo. There is no photos on the system currently, so there is no photos in the folder. And then you have your music. Again, there is no music on this particular device, so there is no reason to be in any of these sections, and video as well. So where you want to be, so there you have your no video in the content folder. So where you want to be is right here where it says game. So when you see the little gaming controller, that is the section where all the games are being stored. This one is going to be the internet browser, which is currently disabled on the system as the system has an older modem. And this last one as well is part of the PlayStation Store, which again, there is no internet on this device as it's a lot older than most routers. So all these settings will not work. So back into gaming, all you want to do is select where it says memory card. And by selecting, you hit the X button. You give it a second, you know that it's working because this little light right here is blinking, reading the data. And this is going to show you a showcase of all the games that are preloaded on this system. So the first one is going to be the Capcom Classic, which has a bunch of old games. You have your Lego Star Wars 3 Clone Wars. You have your Spider-Man Web of Foes, I believe, or Web of Shadows, sorry. Next one is going to be the Lego Batman. Then it's going to be the Indiana Jones Lego, Bomberman, The Simpsons, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, um, Goblins and Ghouls. Nope, it's Ghosts and Goblins. Sorry about that. Then you have your DS. You have your Lego Star Wars 2. You have your Key of Heaven. And there is a lot of games in here. So if there's a game that you're interested in playing, all you have to do is hit the X button. So let's go ahead and click on a game. There are, I believe, over 70 games on this main screen. And then when we get into the other systems, there is over 10,000 loaded games on this device. You got your Scooby-Doo, Ratchet and Clank, you got the Puzzle, Pac-Man, Mind Quiz, you got Mega Man, you got some Marvel, Loco Roco, that's a good one. All right, you have your Super Nintendo. So this is what the Super Nintendo looks like. So if you click on this, it will take you to a separate screen. You got your Minecraft, which actually works very well. And then you have your Pico Drive. You have your Final Fantasy. So there's actually a bunch of PlayStation 1 games. So all these games, all you have to do is click on it and it will jump right into the game. You got your Digimon. And then the last two in this system is going to be your Game Boy Advance and your comic books. So let's go ahead and actually load the comic book so you can see what the comic reading is all about. Give it a second to load. And now that it's loaded, all you want to do is select which one you want to read. And it will be in a light bluish color to show you which one is selected. So we're actually going to go and get the first Pokemon Adventure. Let that load up. And there is the cover of the book. And in order to switch the page, all you have to do is click on these toggles right here. So this is to flip the page to the right, and this is to flip the page back. And then you scroll down. So right now it is zoomed in. I believe. Okay, so to zoom out is going to be the X, and then to zoom in is going to be the triangle. And then if you want to read it like on the side, you have to hit the circle button. So, but when you flip the page, it will go back to where it's the natural form. So it's always going to be zoomed in because you're going to be reading it. So is the Pocket Monster special content. And you scroll down, and then how cool is that? You could read comic books on the PlayStation Portable. Pretty cool. Let's say that you want to read it like this. You can also read it sideways, but again, it's more comfortable to hold the system in this format. So, all right, and that is that. If you do want to get out of this, all you have to do is hit the select button, and right here will give you options to either quit or change out the comic book. So let's get out of here. And once you're back onto your home screen, all you want to do is go back into where it says memory stick. It does take a second to load all these games. And let's go ahead and click on one of these games. Let's see which game I want to play real quick. We got Harry Potter. Let's do some Burnout. All you do is to select, it's always going to be the X button to select. Circle a lot of times is to go back. And there you go. Now it's loading up the game. You hit the start button. Now it's just confirming the profile. There is no data profile, so all you have to do is create a new one. That's going to be fine for right now. Okay. Now let's just do a single event, just so we could get right into it. I have not played this game in over 10 years, so let's see how the graphics hold up. Okay. All right. Again, for most of these games, you do have to, just jump in there and figure out the controls. Right now, the gas is going to be the X, and then the horn is O, and the brake is going to be square. So let's play this for a little bit. All right. It's actually not too bad. It's definitely lots of fun. All right, let's go ahead and actually exit out. So all you have to do is hit the home button and it will tell you, would you like to quit the game? And all you have to do is hit the X button and it will take you back to your home screen. So now we're actually going to try one of the emulators with some of the older games. Now, my favorite emulator on here at the current moment is going to be the Nintendo Game Boy Advance, which is all the way at the bottom. Let's go ahead and click into it. All right, and then once it loads up, you're going to get a screen where it shows all the games. There is no picture showing what the games are, but all you have to do is read the names. So the game that I'm looking for is going to be the Dragon Ball Z, which is right here. So all you have to do is hit the X button and it will boot up the game. And again, the volume controls are going to be right down here. So, all right, let's go ahead and go in here, single player. Let's see if we could do a little bit of gameplay. So for this emulator, the controls are complete different. You're gonna get only these two buttons right here. And then this button right here is always gonna take you to the system menu. So if you wanna like save the game, let's say that you have to go, all you have to do is scroll to save stage and then just hit the X button. But yeah, this is where that's going to be. In order to exit out of this, all you have to do is hit the circle button and it will take you back to the game. So if you ever by mistake bump it, just go ahead and hit the circle and it will just take you back to the page. I believe these buttons work on this as well. So when we get in here, we'll figure it out. All right. I was actually playing this game and it was actually a lot of fun. So we're just gonna, all right. So right here, you can see that it's a lot better to use the analog. And then the X is gonna be that. And then the square is gonna be to kick. And then again, this button is not gonna do anything in this game. And this is gonna take you always to this menu button. And then let's see. Okay, so if you notice that this changes your attack. So right here is going to be your mega attack. And then this one's going to be for blocking. So there you have it. That is the Nintendo Game Boy Advance. Let's go ahead and exit out. And now we're actually going to go into the Super Nintendo folder. And I did wish that the folders were located in the same spot, but for some reason, this is how it loaded. And again, there is Minecraft. I believe the way you destroy stuff is the select button. So I would say just go in there and just figure out the controls. All right, let's go to your Super Nintendo. I remember growing up with this system and it was lots of fun. All right, so the game that I was playing yesterday was True Lives. Now, again, there are hundreds of games on here, all great games. Definitely just go in here and play any of these games. Actually, the Spider-Man is actually really good. So let's go ahead and just jump into the Spider-Man and Venom. So all you have to do is hit the X and it will load up the game. All right. Love this game. I grew up with this game and it was actually lots of fun back then and it still holds up to today. All right, let the all right. So we have our we're going to be playing as Spider-Man. And again, you have your your four controls and it is a beat 'em up. So all you have to do is just fight your way through all these guys. And if you hit the home button, it's going to take you to your menu. And in here, it'll show you all the controls and stuff. And if you ever want to save the game, all you have to do is go over to load and save, hit the save button, and it will save wherever you are in that particular game. And then to load it, all you have to go is to load. So, all right, let's go back into the gameplay. And the way you go back is always to hit the back button, which is circle. All right, pretty cool. So let's go ahead and exit out. And the way you exit out of the system is you just hit the home button twice and it will tell you would you like to exit. Just hit the X button and it will exit out. All right, that was a walkthrough of the PlayStation Portable. Now, there are hundreds of games in here. Most of the games that are on the front are going to have the normal PlayStation controls. These are actually PlayStation games. And the ones that are going to be a tad bit different are the ones located inside of the emulators, which is the Super Nintendo and the Game Boy Advance, as well as the Minecraft. But just go in here and just play around. Definitely have lots of fun with all these games. Well, hopefully you guys enjoy the video, and if you have any questions, please ask. And remember, just have fun with all these great games.